Alexander the Great was a young king, born in 356 BC in the ancient kingdom of Macedon. From a very young age, he was tutored by the great philosopher Aristotle, who instilled in him a love for knowledge, strategy, and the arts. But Alexander's ambitions went far beyond the scholarly pursuits of his youth. With a big dream to conquer the entire world, he set out on a journey that would change the course of history. His father, King Philip II, had already laid the groundwork by unifying the Greek city-states, but Alexander's vision was far grander. He had already conquered Greece, Persia, and Egypt, each conquest adding to his growing legend. In Greece, he was seen as a liberator, in Persia, a formidable conqueror, and in Egypt, he was even hailed as a god. His empire stretched from the Mediterranean to the edges of the known world. His ambition burned bright, and he looked east to the fabled land of India. Stories of its wealth and mystique had reached his ears, and he was determined to add this jewel to his crown. The journey would be perilous, but Alexander was undeterred. In 326 BC, Alexander and his mighty army crossed the treacherous Hindu Kush mountains, entering a land of rivers and vast plains, Hindustan. The journey was fraught with challenges, from harsh weather to difficult terrain, but Alexander's leadership kept his army's spirit unbroken. This land was ruled by powerful kings, each with their own armies and fortresses. Alexander was ready for new conquests, eager to test his mettle against these formidable foes. He knew that victory here would cement his legacy as one of history's greatest conquerors. Alexander's arrival sent ripples of worry and defiance throughout the region. The local rulers, hearing of his exploits, were both awed and alarmed. They convened councils, sent messengers, and prepared their defenses, knowing that a clash with this legendary figure was inevitable. Kings and rulers prepared for war, for they had heard tales of this young conqueror's tactical brilliance and relentless ambition. They knew that the battles ahead would be fierce, and that their very sovereignty was at stake. Little did they know, they were about to face a military genius unlike any other. Alexander's strategies were innovative, his leadership inspiring, and his determination unyielding. He was not just a warrior, but a master tactician who could turn the tide of battle with his ingenuity. India, with its exotic allure and whispered riches, was now the grand prize in Alexander's sights. The land promised not just wealth, but also glory and the fulfillment of his grand vision. As he marched forward, the world watched, waiting to see if this young king could truly conquer it all. In the fertile lands of Punjab, where the soil is rich and the fields stretch endlessly in lush green hues, there once ruled a king as mighty as the lion, his namesake, Raja Porus. This land, known for its abundance and beauty, was the backdrop for a tale of valor and determination. Raja Porus, a name that resonated with power and strength, was a towering figure in ancient Indian history. His reign was marked by his unwavering courage and his ability to inspire loyalty among his people. He was not just a king, he was a symbol of resistance against foreign invasions. A towering figure of a man, Porus was known for his bravery and strength. His physical presence was imposing, and his reputation as a warrior was unmatched. He was a leader who led from the front, always ready to face any challenge that came his way. He commanded a powerful army, complete with hundreds of war elephants. These magnificent creatures were not just symbols of royal power, they were formidable weapons in battle. The sight of these elephants, adorned in armor and ready for combat, was enough to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies. These elephants were like living tanks, striking fear into the hearts of any who dared oppose them. Their sheer size and strength made them an almost unstoppable force on the battlefield. They were trained to charge at the enemy, trampling everything in their path, creating chaos and destruction. Porus was not a king easily intimidated. His resolve was as strong as the iron that forged his weapons. He was a leader who believed in the strength of his people and the righteousness of his cause. His determination was evident in every decision he made, every strategy he devised. He was determined to protect his kingdom from Alexander's ambitions. The Macedonian conqueror, known for his relentless pursuit of new territories, had set his sights on Punjab. But Porus was ready. He knew that this battle would be a defining moment in his reign, a test of his leadership and his people's resilience. He knew that the plains of Punjab would be the battleground for this clash of empires. The vast open fields would witness a confrontation like no other, where the fate of kingdoms would be decided. Porus prepared his forces, ensuring that every soldier was ready for the impending conflict. With the mighty Jhelum River, known to the Greeks as the Hydaspes, as a natural barrier, Porus had a strategic advantage. This river, with its strong currents and wide expanse, would serve as a formidable obstacle for Alexander's advancing army. Porus used the river to his advantage, planning his defenses meticulously. Porus prepared for Alexander's inevitable advance. He knew that the battle ahead would be fierce and unforgiving, but he was ready to face it head-on. With his army by his side and the spirit of his ancestors guiding him, Porus stood resolute, ready to defend his land and his people at all costs. The Jhelum River, wide and swift-flowing, became the focal point of this impending conflict. Porus strategically positioned his army along the eastern bank, the river serving as a natural moat. His war elephants, a terrifying spectacle, were lined up at the river's edge, ready to charge. Alexander, ever the strategist, surveyed the scene with a keen eye. He knew a direct assault across the river would be disastrous. He needed a plan, a way to outmaneuver Porus and his formidable elephant force. The stage was set for a battle that would be spoken of for millennia to come. Section 4. Alexander's Gambit crossing the Jhelum. Under the cover of darkness, Alexander devised a daring plan. He would split his forces, leaving a portion to distract Porus at the main crossing. Meanwhile, he would lead a smaller contingent stealthily upstream. His aim was to find a suitable crossing point and surprise Porus' forces. The monsoon season was in full swing, swelling the Jhelum River and making the crossing perilous. Yet Alexander and his men, under the cover of a stormy night, managed to ford the river. They had successfully outmaneuvered Porus' watchful eye, and now the stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of both armies. Section 5. Fury of the Hydaspes, elephants, horses, and the clash of steel. The Battle of the Hydaspes erupted with the fury of a thunderstorm. Caught off guard, Porus rushed to meet Alexander's challenge. The earth trembled as the two armies clashed. Alexander's cavalry, renowned for its speed and maneuverability, swirled around the lumbering elephants. The air was thick with the cries of men and the trumpeting of elephants. The Indian chariots, initially a force to be reckoned with, became bogged down in the mud created by the heavy elephants. Despite putting up a valiant fight, Porus' forces were slowly being outmaneuvered. Alexander, seeing an opportunity, aimed for Porus himself, hoping to end the battle swiftly. Section 6. A King's Respect, Porus' Valor Unbroken. Even as defeat loomed, Porus fought with the heart of a lion. He moved with surprising agility for a man of his size, his every blow a testament to his strength and valor. His courage in the face of defeat earned Alexander's admiration. Instead of striking him down, Alexander, impressed by Porus' bravery, stopped his advance. Through a translator, Alexander asked Porus how he wished to be treated. Porus, his voice full of dignity, replied, "Like a king." This response resonated deeply with Alexander. He recognized a kindred spirit in Porus, a fellow ruler who understood the meaning of courage and honor. Section 7. In the Aftermath. A Kingdom Regained, a Legend Forged. True to his word, Alexander showed Porus great respect. This was not just a gesture of diplomacy, but a recognition of the valor and leadership that Porus had demonstrated on the battlefield. Alexander, known for his strategic brilliance and military prowess, saw in Porus a kindred spirit, a leader who commanded loyalty and respect from his people. Their handshake was more than a mere formality. It was a symbol of mutual admiration and the beginning of a unique alliance. Instead of taking his kingdom, Alexander allowed Porus to continue ruling, now as an ally. This decision was unprecedented, as Alexander had a reputation for conquering and assimilating territories. By allowing Porus to retain his throne, Alexander demonstrated a rare form of respect and strategic foresight. He understood that a stable and loyal ally in the region would be more beneficial than a subjugated and resentful populace. Porus, in turn, pledged his loyalty to Alexander, ensuring peace and cooperation between their realms. He recognized Porus's courage and knew that a leader of such caliber would be a valuable asset. Porus's bravery in the face of overwhelming odds had left a lasting impression on Alexander. The Macedonian king valued strength and honor, and Porus embodied these qualities. By forging an alliance with Porus, Alexander not only secured a powerful ally, but also sent a message to other potential adversaries. Respect and valor would be rewarded, not crushed. The Battle of the Hydaspes marked a turning point in Alexander's conquests. This battle was one of the most fiercely fought in Alexander's campaign, showcasing the tactical genius of both leaders. The ferocity of the combat and the strategic maneuvers employed by both sides were legendary. It was a clash not just of armies, but of minds and wills. The outcome of this battle had far-reaching implications, altering the course of Alexander's ambitions and reshaping the political landscape of the region. Though victorious, the ferocity of the battle and the valor displayed by Porus and his men made him reconsider his ambitions. Alexander, despite his victory, was deeply affected by the resistance he encountered. The determination and bravery of Porus's forces were unlike anything he had faced before. This realization led him to reassess his future plans. The cost of further conquests, both in terms of human lives and resources, weighed heavily on his mind. The battle had shown him the limits of his reach and the resilience of those who stood against him. His army, weary from years of campaigning, was also nearing exhaustion. The relentless pace of Alexander's conquests had taken a toll on his soldiers. They had marched thousands of miles, fought numerous battles, and faced countless hardships. The weariness was palpable, and the morale of the troops was waning. The Battle of the Hydaspes had pushed them to their limits, and the prospect of further campaigns was daunting. Alexander, ever the astute leader, recognized the need to give his men respite and to consolidate his gains rather than overextend his reach. The time had come to turn back. Alexander made the difficult decision to halt his eastward expansion and to return to more familiar territories. This decision was not made lightly, but it was a testament to his ability to adapt and to recognize the changing dynamics of his campaign. The retreat was not a sign of defeat, but a strategic withdrawal, allowing him to preserve his forces and to maintain the stability of his empire. The journey back was arduous, but it was a necessary step to ensure the longevity of his conquests. The battle on the banks of the Jhelum River became a legend, a testament to the courage of both Alexander and Porus. This battle was etched into the annals of history, celebrated for the extraordinary bravery and strategic brilliance displayed by both leaders. The Jhelum River, once a mere geographical feature, became a symbol of heroism and the indomitable human spirit. The stories of this battle were passed down through generations, inspiring countless individuals and becoming a cornerstone of the legacy of both Alexander and Porus. It showed that true respect could exist even between rivals on the battlefield. The relationship between Alexander and Porus was a powerful example of how mutual respect and understanding could transcend the animosities of war. Their alliance demonstrated that even in the midst of conflict, there could be moments of profound humanity and recognition of shared values. This respect was not born out of fear or subjugation, but from a genuine appreciation of each other's strengths and virtues. The story of their encounter continues to captivate and inspire, reminding us that bravery, respect, and understanding can prevail even in the heat of conflict. The tale of Alexander and Porus is more than just a historical event. It is a timeless narrative that resonates with the core values of courage, honor, and respect. It serves as a reminder that even in the most challenging circumstances, the human spirit can rise above enmity and forge bonds of mutual respect. This legend, passed down through the ages, continues to inspire and to teach us the enduring power of these virtues.